I'm going to be brief because we got to have some political discussions. Because we got some fights, some worldwide fights and some local fights. I will say this, I've been to Africa umpteen time. It was my first time in Dakar. If you ever have time, please go to Africa in the dry season. It's very temperate, you will love it. It is beautiful. They can attest to the temperature waking up. We came from 10 degrees to 80 degrees. With all of the physical shocks involved. I mean, sweating and like, dang, where is that coming from? To coming back to frozen and shivering. Definitely this far north on the planet, we have cold, wet winters. In Africa, the winters are normally dry in the tropics. Normally I go to Nigeria, Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana. Never been that high up on the continent. Dakar is a wonderful place. The Wolof, which is the major language there, are super hospitable. They take you and your situation for their situation. So if you got a problem, they got a problem. To Americans who are super individualistic, we're not used to that. We be like, get out my business. You know, why you following me? Because we used to get out my business. What's in it for me? And this fake, rugged individualism that we champion here, the supposedly the settler colonial ethic that we get from our waspy forefathers. But in Dakar, they represent that kind of hunting and gathering ethic, like we all gonna eat. Yes. We all secure. We all together. And if you're not used to a cultural norm like that, it will jar you. And so that takes some adjustment. And I know the delegation is under culture shock. Because we came from a place where somebody said, did you eat today? To a place like, you know, get out my way, road rage. So that's most important about the culture. Cheikh Anta Diop is a wonderful university. They got faculties of letters and law and medicine and dentistry. They're the largest university in Africa. They train the African intelligentsia, who then flees and goes all over the world. But it's a wonderful place. Dakar is Detroit, Marine. In several situations, it's Detroit. Matter of fact, we were walking down, the march started, we got separated. And I was on a rant because I couldn't find the rest of the delegation. Michelle will tell you, I was looking around and I was saying, where's Will? Where's Amina? Where's Sawatu? So we started milling around. We said, well, we ain't marching in the rear. We're going to the front.
That's right. That's Detroit.
So we was like, I started asking people where the front of the march is.
That's right.
We go straight to the front and march with the rural women who lead. They said, women don't lead this. And that's going to be the front. The front of this march, 30,000 deep, going to be some poor, no shoes wearing, rural women decorated up with henna and just, you know, some nomads led the march. Illiterate, probably fresh from the Sahara. Put them right up front. They said, you carry the banner, you behind the security. We marched. They said it was 2.5 miles. It felt like 5. We got to one point where we turned to go down the avenue for Cheikh Anta Diop, and the security was like, hold up, women, hold on. Because the women was giving out. They was like, woo, this feel like going to Egypt up in here. But the march was beautiful because we couldn't really see it because we were up front. But looking at the Google and the images, it was wonderful. 140 nations. 100,000 people, 30,000 of them students from Cheikh Anta Diop University. Took over a university. I will say this on behalf of the organizers, the World Social Forum kind of collapsed in their hands. They had a president that had gave them all the space, gave them carte blanche at the university, and then he retired on them. The new guy came in and was like, I don't know y'all. Who is you again? What's up? Well, you ain't got no contract here. They had to move over 1,500 events to tents in 24 hours. I mean, stuff that was in the program said amphitheater, they was like, y'all in the tent down that dusty road right there. And people, it was confusion the first day. The first day was Africa, and you got there, you was like, where am I spotted? They was like, just go roam some tents. They didn't even have posts on the tent. You had to just look in the tent and find your people. What y'all doing up in here? We're talking about militarism. Well, I'm looking for the immigrants. What y'all, you know, so that was wonderful. It was real African. Two, the World Social Forum from 2001 to Porto Alegre to Dakar in 2011 came full circle. There's this thrust in the world to build up the South-South. People on the south part of the planet, up south. South America and Africa in particular. And when you look at the forum, badges and everything about the World Social Forum, they got the world deconstructed. What's in the middle of the globe is South Africa South America and Africa. And what's on the periphery is North America and Europe. Because Europe, under straight gangsterism and capitalism exploitation, is literally destroying the planet and the human community.
That's right.
I mean, it's just no way you can get around it. So somebody else got to bring another paradigm. It can't be the ones that get you into the problem. It's got to be somebody naked from the bush. Somebody who cared for somebody. Somebody who say, did you eat today? You know, even though we were under situations, we went local. I will say the delegation did go local. They had to learn some French up in Dakar. They was like, je voudrais aller à Senegal with a flag. I was like, go ahead. Now speak some Wolof. You know, Megadeth. They was working on Megadeth. And I thought that was wonderful in a cultural type of way that we go into places and we absorb and try to learn from the local culture.
That's right.
So that was wonderful. And I'll stop and I would say this. I did not know, I knew Ife couldn't make it. Ife Kilimanjaro hooked up with some Africans while she was there for 2-3 months. Said, I'm going to represent black women and the Americans. Like, because they reached out. They said, we got to have a global dialogue. She couldn't make it. She threw me under the bus. I get there at the African Women's Forum, my name on that agenda.
She represented.
And I said, wow. And if, I'm going to be honest, if Ron did not go to them sisters out of 5,000 tents, I don't know what was on his mind. He just honed in, went to the tent and said, Charity, you on this program? I said, you mind, let me see that. I'm looking, I'm confused. I'm like, what day is today? Monday. And then we got confused. I had to go there, come find out I'm on the agenda. It's a one-day forum for the African Women's Forum. And at the World Social Forum, y'all, it's forums inside of forums. It's a forum of NGOs. It's a forum of women. It's a forum of how we going to build an alternative to what we pushing back on. So that was wonderful. It's a wonderful spot to connect with world community and to dialogue. And so I just will say that as we move on. And to the delegation, thank you. Everything was experienced, whether we got lost, we ate fish and rice every day. Some of them ate some hot sauce, you know, that cayenne pepper and habaneros they mixed up. Now you know why black folk eat red cayenne hot sauce on everything. But that cayenne pepper sauce, you put too much in it, you done fell out.
Yep. And 80 degrees.
Yeah, and 80 degrees. So that was wonderful. We had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful place to stay. To Will, thank you for everything. All your coordination, everything. It's much appreciated.